The Report, starring Adam Driver and Annette Bening and John Hamm, it's a political investigation thriller akin to movies like All the President's Men. It is based on a true story and centers around Daniel J. Jones, played by Driver. At the request of the Senate Intelligence Committee back in 2009, he began leading an investigation into the CIA torture program, the one that was born right after 9/11 and that employed the so called enhanced interrogation techniques, such as sleep deprivation and waterboarding. Jones and his team ended up spending almost 7 years digging through thousands of CIA documents and emails in order to compile what would become known as the torture report. So, the first thing that I want to say is that the film is surprisingly engaging, almost riveting, especially when you consider that the vast majority of it takes place in offices and hallways and centers around Adam Driver having conversations with people or sitting behind a desk. So, in theory, it's not very cinematic, but it manages to grip you nonetheless. From minute one, I was in the film, impatiently waiting to see where it would go next. I didn't know the full story before watching it, so maybe that's why it was so engrossing to me, but whatever the reason, it worked. And that's mainly, I think, due to excellent pacing and music that accentuates it. Throughout the entire film, you're kept on edge. There is this certain uneasy atmosphere created, which makes you just slightly uncomfortable. Acting wise, I have no criticism. Adam Driver is once again excellent, as he has been in everything I've seen him so far. So is Annette Bening, who plays Senator Dianne Feinstein. I think she manages to channel that political savviness, and you at the same time feel a certain amount of respect towards her, but you also get the sense that as she is a career politician, she is all the time calculating, and you never know if this maybe will be the moment that she leaves Dan Jones alone on the battlefield. One last thing I want to mention is that the report manages to do a lot with very little in terms of cinematography, which is something I already mentioned. As I said, the story takes place primarily in buildings, but there are some neat tricks used. The colossal rough CIA building that Jones conducts his investigation in is repeatedly shown in a way that makes it look imposing and almost evil. The flashback sequences that show the actual torture happening have this warm orange hue to them that contrasts them with the usual narrative that is shown in colder colors, but also with their tone, emotional tone. And the movie as a whole is nicely bookended by shots of Driver in front of the Capitol building in Washington, D.C., in both cases managing to silently and efficiently show who he is as a person at that point in time without necessarily spelling it out loud through dialogue. Solid movie.